What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ho to Husband podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line tonight. I got my man, Jay Babo. What's good, man?
Not much going on tonight, fellas. Hey, SD had to get you in fantasy last week. Hey, you let me have it the last time. Zon Camel Toe Killer. But just so you know, we're no longer on Grind City TV. They have since shut down, but shout out to B for giving us the opportunity to allow us on her platform there. But you can still follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok at Ho to Husband Podcast. All right, T.
I also have my other co-host. I got my man SD. What's good, man?
Nothing, man. You know what I mean? He got me this week, but I was on the winning streak. So I'm a little salty today, but it's all right. I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh, and I want to remind you all to donate to the Ho to Husband podcast on Cash App and PayPal.
I want to remind everybody, y'all can still catch the audio playback of the show every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. And you can now catch the podcast on Spotify. They've expanded their platform to allow video podcasts, so we're now available on Spotify, so check us out. This episode is titled Delusion Is Real. So we're going to be talking about some of the viewpoints and perspectives that we see expressed of women on social media. But before we get into all that, y'all know how we do around here. We like to discuss things that we've seen on our timelines or things that have been trending. So we got two real interesting videos. We got this first video of my man talking about how men really feel about BBLs. Let's take a listen.
I just put up an important post where I said, men don't like BBLs. Men are just sexually attracted to naked women. And women with BBLs just tend to be the most naked. Now, mind you, I didn't even say attracted for real. I said sexually attracted. Women are often poke at men and say men will hit anything. And to a certain extent, it's kind of true. But just because we desire to have sex with a woman doesn't mean we desire to actually be with that woman. Sadly, it doesn't even mean that we like her. A lot of times we just be looking at free breast and booty while simultaneously overlooking all the things we don't like, and then the things we don't like end up being the things that women think we do like. Oh, they must like that kind of outfit. They must like the way she acting. Nah, she just naked. Oh, her likes done went up since she had her breast surgery. Yeah, but she also wasn't showing us all that before she had her breast surgery. Whether the body is real or fake, thick, skinny, or in between, when it comes to free booty and breast online, we gonna like them pics regardless. It don't mean we actually like you.
Now, I've been seeing a lot of discussion or a lot of different people commenting about a man will do this with you, but he don't really like you. And to me, I always thought that was common sense, right? We know that there's a physical or a sexual aspect that a man has to like. But a man can obviously not like your attitude or not share, not agree with you on a lot of different things and still be down to smash or at least casually date a woman. So to me, when stuff like this goes viral or women argue against it, it always leaves me scratching my head.
Oh, not me, because I get it. Like I understand. Like women aren't built like us, man.
No.
So it goes to show, especially when they argue his point. Like he's like, yo, just because men are sexually attracted to BBLs don't mean we want to wife chicks with BBLs. And
Facts.
women can't get it. They like, what do you mean? And that's because a lot of women, when they like a guy, they will smash the guy. Like they like him some type of way in order to have sex with him. So they don't understand, a lot of them, how men can like something enough for sex, but not like them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not built that way.
But that's the part but there's so many examples that show men like having sex. Men pay for sex. It's the oldest profession in the world. So
Right.
It doesn't say there ain't no more requirement to it than that. You know what I mean?
But you got to understand one thing, all right? There's one thing that trumps all of this common sense, and that's a woman's feelings.
Yep. No question.
Hey, how they feel is different from what they see in reality a lot of times. So they can't separate the two and be like, well, all of these dudes do smash anything. The women will tell you, like he said in the video, women say men will smash anything. Well, but they don't wife anything. It's clear that men don't wife.
And that's not true. That's not true for the men women like. The men that women like can be very picky.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So that's a myth, ladies. Go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah. But you know what the hard irony is when women get these BBLs, they do it for man attention. Now they get the man attention, but they conflate the attention for dudes actually wanting to wife them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Dudes will hit it. I'll hit a chick with a BBL any day of the week. But would I want to wife that? No.
And it's not because of how the BBL looks necessarily. It could be. It could be botched. It could be outrageous. But I wouldn't want a woman with a BBL just because of the mentality. Like, you're that vain, you gotta go to that extreme to be able to show your ass and all that.
And just to be clear, I mean BBL that's done right, not the ones that look like the great value version of BBL.
Well, to me it depends, right? Because it all depends on how she carries herself with it. Because a woman can get a BBL and not be all online, showing off her body, got her titties out, and showing off her booty, or whatever.
What woman is not gonna show off her BBL?
I'm just saying.
That's like an oxymoron,
but,
you know what I'm saying?
But what I mean by that is being half naked is what I mean. Because if you done got your body done and you got it done right and you're curvaceous, it's gonna show. Right. But there's a difference between that and wearing your clothes and being curvaceous and sitting on the sink in the bathroom in your panties. It's a big difference. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Swinging your titties like this here on camera because you got new titties. It's a big difference. So I could get with the woman and be with the woman with a well done BBL now, who also has a different type of mentality where she's not trying to flaunt and be naked online. So I think the ones that you're talking about, I think those are few far in between, because I think most get the BBL for the vanity of it to go show, go flex for the book and the gram when they get those. Some of them do. Sit on the sink like you just said. Yeah,
I understand where you're coming from, but that's like a woman saying, I could date a dope dealer, but he just can't have me in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like, or he can't be flashy. Like, yeah, you might find one that keep you safe, but that's not a realistic expectation. The reason they get it is because the sexual attention, and for a lot of them, is monetization nowadays. Even if they getting $600, $700, $800 a month just from Instagram and YouTube and all that from thirsty dudes, man, that's income.
True. But some women do get it because they out of shape, and not strictly for the sexual type of attention and being like that. You know what I'm saying? To make money off of it, to monetize it. Some of them get it because they out of shape and it's hard for them to lose weight. So or they had a baby or whatever the case. So they like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get this BBL, but she still behaves and acts like a classy lady, even though she got the BBL. I know some personally.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm
saying? You're right. I guess I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, and those are the women that I could get with because they not trying to do it for sexual reasons like that, to monetize off of it from men online, and I can work with a woman like that.
But see, you know what? A lot of women seem to think that that's the missing ingredient. Like, if I get the BBL, then all the guys that I'm attracted to are going to want me, and it's not how it works. But I can see what you're saying. Like, the ones that just don't go overboard, the chick that got what they call it, the mommy package, lipo, move the fat to her thighs and butt. You know what I'm saying? Like, make the subtle changes. Yeah, right. I can see that. But see, when I hear the term BBL, I always think like the ant shaped chick. You know what I'm saying? Like overboard type chick, or a woman that was skinny as like a pole. Now all of a sudden she got curves and all that. But to be honest, I think most guys find the imperfections of women to be their most attractive features in a lot of cases.
It depends
Stuff
on
like,
the imperfections.
yeah, I mean, they
Right.
got to be within range,
Depends
but
on what it is.
big booties with stretch marks or tiger stripes, you know,
Oh
like
yeah,
just
Yeah.
little stuff like that women can be self-conscious about sometimes, tend to be things that actually turn guys on.
Yeah, I could deal with that, and most men can, deal with, a couple things here or there, like a more natural woman, and I would prefer a more natural woman, but like I said, I would get with a woman with a BBL. But one thing about the BBLs though is that a lot of them, you know what I'm saying, a lot of them look really good in clothes. They look really good in clothes. But outside of them clothes, a lot of times it's a different ball game. You start seeing things, the scars, the holes, how they can't move a certain way or bend over or whatever. And it's like, because, and the thing that gets me, that I see with a lot of chicks with the BBL, is how the belly looks like a suitcase with just a hole in it. It's tight, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it looks like a wall, man. Like it's like the skin is pulled and all that. That really gets me sometimes. So
I haven't seen up close like that. So
I have. But I'm just saying, man, like men, what women don't understand is, like you said, a lot of them think that that's just going to be the thing that gets them the type of man that they want. But you know what I mean? You got to have a mental that comes with it. That's what I was just talking about. And for men that actually want relationships and marriage, that's more important than your BBL a lot of times. You know what I mean? Because you could have a BBL and your mental be off, and I don't want nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of men that's looking for relationships and marriage won't have nothing to do with you either. But you will get plenty of dick. You'll get that. You'll get plenty of offers for that, because those types of men don't care that you don't think like a wife. They want you to think like a thought and be like, hey, well, I got my BBL, so now I can flaunt my booty and get what I want.
And that actually ties into our next topic. The next video that we were going to talk about on our trending topics was a video of Lala Anthony kind of complaining about that aspect. Let's take a listen to see what she had to say.
When you're younger, you want to date older guys. And I'm not saying when you get older, you want to date younger guys, but when you get older, only younger guys want to date you. It's the wildest thing. Literally, guys will DM me or want to take me out, and I'll Google them. I'll be like, you're 22 years old. Like, how? Like, how does this work? But like, so confident, so like, I want to take you out. I think you're amazing. And I'm just like, what's the cutoff? Like, I don't know the cutoff.
Now, it's interesting, right, to hear conversations like this where, because Lala got her body done. She wasn't this attractive back in the day. And so she's got her body done. She hit the jackpot as far as just being a female on the scene. She had her media job at MTV and managed to meet Carmelo Anthony, been married to a Hall of Fame type NBA player. So her trajectory on life has been awesome. You know what I mean? But it's interesting to hear her complain about the side effects of making yourself look younger, doing things to appeal to a younger crowd, thirst trapping on social media, etc. Because the men that she wants the attention from ain't really checking for her like that.
Right.
Whole different ball game when you almost 44 years old, Lala. It's a different ball game now.
Yes, and it is.
What gets me about what she said is that she's like, these young dudes want to date me, and he's 22, sweetheart.
No, they don't.
These dudes don't want to date you, and you 44 years old. This is what I'm saying, though. So many women, no matter their age, have a hard time understanding men, to the point where she thinks that these here young dudes really want to date her. No, they want to sleep with you. If she understood men and was living in the reality world of what men do and know what we do, she'd say, all these 22-year-olds in my DMs trying to smash, because that's what they trying to do. They not trying to date you and go out and see how wonderful you
build
are.
a life with you and all that.
They trying to see them titties is what they trying to do.
But I think, you know what? I think she knows that. She just said, oh, yeah, all these guys want to date. But majority of them are offering her nothing but a bunch of sex. They're not offering her anything past that.
No, I mean,
go ahead. Steve.
Because think about it, right? Because the men that have the type of money and fame and all the stuff that she's going to be attracted to, they have plenty of younger options, right? Yep. They don't have to provide the kind of lifestyle that you would be used to, and you know, her reputations follow you, baggage, all that type of stuff is real. You know what I mean? Like, so it was interesting though, like for her to make it seem like those guys actually wanted to seriously date her when we already know what type of game they own. And it's funny because it's art imitating life, because on I believe what's it, the Shy, she has a role. She's dating a younger, she looks young enough to be a character in her late 20s or early 30s, right. And she was having sex with a younger guy on the show. So
yeah, but this is what I don't understand. But see, I think, you know, if women know this, you know, why brag on something if you know that these here dudes just want to have sex? Like, I don't know why women do that. Brag about dudes that just want to have, you know, that they know only want to have sex with them. Because you hear women say, I got a bunch of dudes in my DM. I got a bunch of guys that's here and there, where they don't understand, they don't understand your sexual options. It's not the same thing as your relationship options. But they are vastly different.
But you know what, Esty? To answer that real quick, a lot of them do that, you know, to kind of oversell themselves and overinflate what their value actually is.
Yeah, that's why I hate the whole I know my worth conversation, because the way that a lot of women value themselves or view themselves on the dating market is drastically different than how the opposite sex views them. And like you said, that we all know women that are very attractive, got a great job, that on paper you would think, oh, she would be great to date. But guys smash and dash for a reason. Now, they do a great job at making it like he was the problem, playing the victim.
I did everything.
You know what? They're you know, it's never them when the relationship doesn't work out.
But you know, it's just one of them things, man. You know, but I don't think a lot of women are self-aware of what they have to offer in the dating market. And I had touched on it about a week or so ago. The different things that determine our dating market value out here. The you know, for a woman to a man, how it's got to do with how she looks physically in her face, if he's attracted to her. Then it goes down to her body and how she's shaped. Then it goes to how she thinks, how she carries herself, what she does on social media, things like that, and the baggage that she has. All of these here things,
all that factors in
your dating market value to men. And so many women had a problem with me calling their kids baggage or they debt baggage, and I'm like, it is what it is. And
it is what it is. They always try to
baggage too.
Yeah, but they it's like they get upset that men don't make dating decisions the way that they do. You know what I mean? Like that we have these conversations where they're like double standards, and it's like, no, you know, because if a woman cheated, a man wouldn't forgive her. And then, like, they'll come up with all these things, and they're like, no, men just view things differently, and they make different dating decisions. You know what I mean? Just because you forgave a man, nobody forced you to. You know what I mean? Like, nobody is forcing women to do these things, but playing the victim and making it seem like a man forced that on them or was a problem is always the better option.
But you know what's crazy? Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because she could have dealt with, let's just say, 5 men have the same problem, right? But none of it was her fault. Yet she's running into the same problem with different men.
Exactly. That's a problem. But what's crazy is women do the same thing when it comes to men's dating market value. It's the same thing, but just different things. Women will look at your finances more than a man will look at finances. That takes you up or takes you down for your dating market value according to women. For a man, and also if he has kids or multiple kids or whatever, that also takes you down or up a notch if you got kids or not. It's the same thing for men. You know, it's just different things that vary in there. So women do it too. They just don't like it. A lot of them don't like it when you point out the things that knock them down because the shoe fits, and they don't like when the shoe fits. That's really what that is.
All right, y'all. Look like we up against the clock. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be getting into our conversation for the night. Delusion Is Real, where we're talking about some of the perspectives and viewpoints that we've seen women express on social media and the internet. Y'all are tuned in to the Ho to Husband podcast, and we'll be back in a moment. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read, or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho to Husband podcast. Tonight, we have our guest on the line. We have Char to discuss delusional women with us. How you doing, Char?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. We appreciate you taking the time to come on the podcast. Before we get started, can you let us know a little bit about you, where you're from, your age, etc., so the audience can know where you're coming from?
Yes, I'm Char, aka Says What She Wants. I am the #1 female advocate for men, but yet I'm also a sister to women. And I'm from Cali. I'm a Cali girl, born and raised.
That's what's up, man. I got people out in Cali.
Okay.
Well, yeah, so we brought you on. We wanted to have a conversation about some of the viewpoints and the perspectives that we see going viral on social media. And so we wanted to discuss it with a woman that was willing to keep it real. So to start off the conversation, I want to know, out of all the stuff that you see, what's the most outrageous thing that you've seen that is having a negative impact on women's dating experiences?
I will say that women fail to apologize most of the time, and they also fail to take accountability. Those are the top two.
Accountability is a hate word.
I'm telling you, I know.
Your page get reported for hate speech when you say.
Yeah.
I got reported last night, y'all. I got reported last night online.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It get on my nerves.
Hey, that's what happens, man. You know, it's a tough game out here when you holding women accountable for the things that they do. Like, you know, they wanna shut you down. You know what I'm saying? They want to get you up out of here because you talking too much. And they don't do it to just the men, they do it to the women too. A lot of the women have more trouble with the women than anybody when they speaking on what women do. So
breaking the sister code.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got told I wasn't even a woman yesterday. I said, well, I got all the parts. So last time that I checked.
That's what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying, man. Like a lot of women have trouble hearing things, and the crazy part to me is that it don't even be personal. Like, you don't even tag these people. You're not.
They treat it like it is. They treat it like it is.
They feel some type of way about what
the hit dog gonna holler. The hit dog gonna holler.
Every day when you hold them accountable. Go ahead.
They're not all of us. Nobody said we were talking about you, but like my great grandma used to say, if the shoe fits.
Weird.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but see, the thing though is it's interesting because it's the opposite to how they react to the pandering. And you have so many people just telling them you're a queen. You can have everything your way. You're gonna be rich. Don't settle for no dude that's not able to buy you everything you ever wanted in life. So it's like these women set these Aladdin level dating expectations, and they're setting themselves up to be disappointed. And I think that plays directly into the divorce rate and to the lack of marriage overall, especially in the African American community.
I agree. And you know what I would say is, and what I call it, what I've labeled it for years as, is the Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B mentality. And so what happens is when I know, right? So what happens is women nowadays will think they're supposed to use men. They'll think they're supposed to look upon the men as like preying upon them so they can get their pockets, if you will. And so it's so prevalent across social media, across reality TV, across the music.
Yeah.
And so
it's like that stripper culture. That stripper culture that just permeated every kind of normal society. I think it was really because it was in the music and the movies at first, but then once it got to reality TV and then social media, these women are emulating the women that have those attitudes. And like you said, Cardi's.
This is what I tell them. Not to cut you off. This is what I tell them. That is not even their reality. This is entertainment. And a lot of these females, what they do is they are unable to separate entertainment from real life. And so they're living in a total falsehood. They think they're supposed to get the man for a bag plus get him for a bag.
Yep. So
get the bag on your shoulder plus get the bag.
But you know why? Do you know why? Most of the female rappers, most of them used to be strippers. So,
that's true too. And if they're not, and if they didn't used to be strippers, they're on camera now stripping.
Pretty much.
OnlyFans. It's a lot of ways to monetize sex.
Every female rapper talks about getting a man for money and giving them sex in the process for the money or whatever. So that's why you have this total flip of things, like you're talking about, like, hey, they feel like they should get the man, get the money and all this here, and they don't know when to shut that off. Like, you operate like that enough, that's just going to be how you be. And guys that actually want relationships and marriage, they are going to ignore you, and you're just going to get used up out here, and by the time you ready to settle down, nobody is going to take you serious out here. They're going to be like,
a day late and $1 short.
Yeah, we see it every day.
4 quarters.
We see it every day.
But y'all know what? It's so funny because like a lot of them, they will sit up here and try to do this, but at the same time, they want you to respect them. They want you to wife them, right?
Oh, yeah. They don't want the label. They don't want you to call it what it actually is.
Come on.
Yeah.
They will sit up here, and I posted about this. They will sit up here and say, "Oh, I'm a bad bitch. I'm a boss bitch." Okay, then why the hell you asking him for money? Why are you trying to be in his pockets?
Because a lot of them be in them 92 Corollas. They ain't really that bad. I'll tell you that right now. They ain't really that bad. They got a 96 Cobalt sitting outside. That's the problem with that.
So being an advocate for men, I'm sure you got plenty of critics and detractors. So how do you respond to those people that call you a pander to men or a pick-me? How do you respond to those?
You know, it's funny because they were doing it on y'all's post yesterday, and usually honestly, I don't even respond because this is the thing. I was built for this. And so it rolls off my back like water off a duck's back. I really don't care what they have to say, but at the same time, certain comments I will address. And those women last night that was on you guys' post, it's like you just want to say what men want to hear. No, it's literally what the fuck men. Can I cuss y'all?
Go ahead.
It's literally what the fuck men go through. It's literally what men go through with y'all women who think like this. And they say, "Oh, he's supposed to cook for himself. He's supposed to run his own bath water,
but pay her bills, right?"
Yes.
But pay her bills, right?
Yes. Exactly. And buy the bag and give them a bag too.
But you know what? What's really sad about it, and I'm gonna go here. What's really sad about it is that it's mainly our women that with this mentality who it hurts out here in the dating world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right now in America, our women are only married at like 23%.
Wow.
That's a
And
heck of a
it's
number.
still going down. It's
And
going
it's
down every year.
steadily going down because of the mentality that a lot of them come to the table with. And the men, and ironically, the black men are married at over 35%. Black men are married way more. They're marrying other women because of a lot of different things that are going on in our community that we can't address a lot of times with our women because we get called names. We get our pages reported.
It's very combative.
We get insulted. I can't tell you how many times I've been called gay just for saying what men feel or how we think.
Or you hate men. Or you hate women.
Yeah.
Women. Yep.
That's
Yep.
another one.
All the deflection, all the
Yep.
it makes it impossible to ever really have a meaningful conversation. And so that's one of the reasons that I created my platform, to be able to give an authentic voice for men. And I'm for a long time, I was one of the only guys that was actually married. You know what I mean? Like, so you got all these panderers, all these experts that are having scandals and doing all these different type of things. But these are the people that women gravitate to. You know what I mean? Like, and even after they get exposed as being fraud and fakes, they'll still, you just mad because, but you can't force them to recognize that. And that's, it took me a long time to come to that realization, because I always thought, like, man, if you just had somebody that was keeping it real and telling them how it really is, that's actually married, women will have massive success. And that's definitely not the case. They tune out majority of it.
A lot of these men nowadays, they are also the yes men to these women. You have society who is putting women over men. You have their families who are they got Big Mama and they got Sister Susie. They got all these people that are putting that are telling them that they're over men and that they should look down upon them because of certain status, because of certain clout, because of how much money they make. So society has tried to elevate women over men to where they tend to look down upon them, and that is part of the issue as well. And so,
do you think it can be corrected or fixed?
I don't.
There is some of it that can be corrected and fixed, but it also boils down to what type of woman that she wants to be. It has to do with choice. We all have a choice. So if she feels like she's never wrong, and she's going to keep on acting out and doing what she's doing and being a certain way towards men, then no, she's not going to want to change. And at the same time, like I said, I can offer a class right now and show you exactly how to cater to 99.9% of men, and there will be a class of 3 to 5.
But see, I don't think it'll. I don't.
Right.
True, and I just don't see it changing. Because, like she said, the way that they are pushing this thing is like, hey, you don't need a man. And not only that, but this is in society, in entertainment, in everything. But they grew up their whole lives, a lot of us in our neighborhood, with no father in the home or just not around. So they've been hearing
bitterness towards men.
They starting to make money, so they don't see the importance of men. And then society is coming out and putting out the woman king, where the woman is killing all the men. Then they got Black Panther, where the woman is taking over everything from the men. And it's our women who they are putting out like this, in this way, right? And so now
I never even thought about it like that.
Yeah, and they giving them the money. They got the education and they got the money. So it's like, what do you need a man for? That's why more of our women say, I don't need a man.
True.
Because they don't see the importance of a man outside of his wallet. And it's hurting them out here in the dating world.
Yeah, because women like that feel like that, it's that from the male perspective, dating them becomes very unpleasant. Because as a man, you don't want to deal with somebody that has to constantly remind you of their credentials or their income, or is constantly challenging you on just basic conversations. Y'all see how combative women can be in the comments, and then I guess it's like all the negative traits, the women that have them have a whole bunch of them. Well, they have this real, very toxic thing where they summarize anything a man said in the most negative, most disrespectful way possible. And it makes it impossible to ever have to actually resolve issues or have meaningful conversations.
Or have the conversation in good faith.
Yeah.
True.
Absolutely, but also we have to take into consideration, you guys, and this is the thing. Like, it's just a little bit different. Historically, society has pit us against each other. So as much as
doubt.
yes, we're dealing with stuff right now, as far as like, and this is the cultural thing. As much as we're dealing with stuff now, as far as the black man and the black woman, it is a historical thing that has happened prior to this day and age that we're living in now. But that's what a lot of people don't want to touch on, and that's what a lot of people don't know about. And so what happens is society teaches us certain things, and these women have caught a hold of it and ran with it, not even trying to think for themselves or even do their own research as far as what we came from historically. So society, and I'm just going to say, society has pit us against each other, and these women are failing to think for themselves. That's also another issue.
Yeah, it's sad. You know, I intentionally try to shy away from just calling out black women and talking about black relationships because
Why?
I know how negative it'll be perceived, and I know that a lot of the problems are a direct result of slavery and white supremacy. And so I don't feel like it would be fair to just make it seem like only black women are having these issues, even though I feel like they benefit the most from my content. I'm a black man married to a black woman, so I know that that's my demographic. But if all my messaging was in black women, you need to this, black women this, I think that would, you see the response.
Well, I get it.
Yep.
I get it, and I understand it. But this is the thing, right? When we had as men, right?
Yep.
When we see something that's out of whack or see something that's going wrong with our women, we should be able to correct it. We should be able to correct it because even though the message is there, our women are having the hardest time. So if you see that they're doing something wrong that's preventing them from doing this, I personally don't shy away from it because I'm trying to correct it. Now, if you don't want to take it, that's on you. It's on you if you don't want to take it. But every other man can correct their woman. A lot of our women have a problem with us correcting them and saying things like, hey, you should be submissive, or you should do this, or whatever. You can't tell me what to do.
Right.
You can't tell me that. Well, why? And so when a man can't correct a woman, when a man can't direct or correct his woman, they tend to not protect their woman. Because
come on.
Listen to me. That's how it goes out here a lot of times, and people don't understand it. So we shouldn't shy away from it. We should speak on it because they are suffering out here in the dating world. It is what it is.
But as you know, and this is one of my most viral videos. What happens is when you guys do that, these women think of it and they see it and they perceive it as bashing. Am I wrong?
Yep.
You paid to get deleted for it. Literally.
Wait,
Absolutely
we can have a conversation. It's not bashing. He's trying to help you to be better for yourself, for those that you have influence over, and also in your household for your children, and those that you have, say so over. But at the same time, and not only our culture, at the same time, these women see it as bashing. But a lot of time, I'm gonna say this, and
but not if they talking about a man.
Oh, absolutely.
But a lot of the time, it's because society has coddled women, and they have made them think that they're right all the time. Like it's just a fact of how things are going nowadays. But yeah, it's,
so
they see it as bashing.
The people doing the real bashing are the ones pandering to them, telling them to fix their crown. You're not asking too much. You're just asking the wrong man. It's not your fault. It's him making these blanket, vague statements that everyone
love it, man.
that puts on themselves and say, yeah, I was doing everything. He just wasn't doing nothing. And and women can latch on to that, and they make no corrections because they don't think they did anything wrong. That's That's who's doing the most harm when it comes to black women in the dating world. It's the panderers that are hurting them, because they're not really trying to help. They just telling you what you already believe,
Get them
which
dollars.
is what's getting you in trouble anyway.
Crazy part, they don't believe the stuff they saying, but they know the women are gonna flock on and buy this nonsense.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when you do tell women how men really make dating decisions, how men really select wives, how men that are husband material actually think and operate. Anytime you point out something that's about a woman that men don't like, it's instantly met with either who hurt you, or it's coming you're only saying that because you're mad or angry. And it's like, no, I'm observing like their behavior patterns. There are things that make a woman less desirable to a dude, even if he's blowing her back out. You know what I mean? Like, and being. Go ahead.
But this is the other thing, you guys. Most women, I talk about this all the time because I've studied psychology for years, and I'm also a certified counselor. Okay, what happens is women in general, no particular nationality, no particular race, they have gone through things as a child, as adolescent, as women before their current person, and they have not dealt with their shit. I always talk to women on my platform about digging out your stuff, so that way you can perceive things and you can perceive a man the correct way. But yet a lot of women don't want to deal with their underlying issues, and that's a big factor in the way things are going on today in marriages, in the dating world.
Yeah, but you know what? I will say this when it comes to that and the different things that they have to deal with, right? A lot of that too, I believe, and this is where I'm gonna take the accountability for this. As men, we caused a lot of that, being hoes and just running through all of these women out here. I know I caused my share out here, right? Where you know we out here and we doing things, man, and not even thinking about the repercussions or the long-term effects of the women that we are lying to, deceiving, and pretending in order to have sex with them, getting their feelings involved and different things going on. And then a lot of women never get that type of stuff out of their system, so they carry it over when they get a little older. So a lot of that has a lot to do with the whole phase men that I talk about on my page, and how we treat women early on in our younger years when we just running through women out here. So I will take, you know, the accountability.
I understand, and I commend you for that. But yet at the same time, a lot of this stuff happened in childhood before they even got old enough to be able to see you.
I get it.
It happened in the house, so I commend you for
high
it.
school.
Thank you. But I'm talking about childhood, the stuff that happened in their home that they shouldn't have saw, or the things that happened to them that that shouldn't have happened to them. So a lot of times, a lot of women nowadays, they saw stuff in their household and they experienced things in their household that they shouldn't have as a child. But at the same time, it's still, as an adult woman, it is still up to you to get the help that you need.
Absolutely.
To progress. See what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Well, nowadays people are having a more open, you know, to therapy, talking about mental health and things that were kept very quiet back in the past. So I do, you know, have an optimistic spirit in that regard. And then you have people like us with platforms that, you know, we discuss real topics, we discuss it in a real way, and we're always coming from an authentic perspective. So we have that respect from people worldwide and throughout the social media community, where the panders don't. You know what I mean? Like, I would hate to have people posting about me and how much of a fraud I am, and showing my wife and video. Like I take pride in the fact that I'm really who I say I am. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of them can't say that. Yeah,
that's tough. But so how do you think women can be taught to recognize pandering, because their feelings is involved? How do you think they can be taught to recognize it?
Honestly, the women that call me a panderer are the ones that actually need to dig out some stuff. Honestly, and that's just in my opinion. But at the same time, it's like, oh, you're just saying what men want to hear. No, I'm saying things that men actually experience, and they've either gone through it or they're currently going through it. And it's not that I'm pandering. It's that I'm really passionate about what I do. It's that I'm really passionate about what I say. It's that I'm really passionate about what I teach. I hear it every single day. After I work my 9 to 5, I'm on calls for hours. These men are suffering because women don't want to take responsibility, because women don't want to hold up their end of the deal, because women say one thing and they do another. So they can call me panderer and they can call me pick me all you want to, but at the same time, I was built for this. This is part of my purpose.
So let me ask you this real fast. Do you think women care how men feel and what we think?
Wow. That's a good question.
Do you think the majority of them, not all of them, there's
Nah.
some really good ones out there. Do you think the majority of them care how we feel?
The way society is set up now, I really don't feel like a lot of these women care. And they'll sit up there and they'll say, like, open up to me, but at the same time, what do they do with you? They'll hit you upside the head with it.
It's a weapon.
Bring it up.
Weaponize it against you.
Yes, they weaponize it, and what they'll do is they'll tell Big Mama and their best friend and their cousin and their sisters about the secrets that you done sat up there and let them in on. And what happens is, therefore, like when you move on to someone else, you have trust issues because she done sat up there and told everybody and their mama about it. It's like, how am I supposed to trust after this?
Mind you, they all, Big Mama and all them, all single.
Yeah, she's sitting around the table at Thanksgiving. Like, she at the Thanksgiving table, like, don't you know he asked me to eat his butt? Well, you
That's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. Y'all trying to get into the soul snatcher aspect of things, you know?
Everybody at the table moving their cups away from you, like, no, you can't have no swig of that, bro.
That's funny.
You can't have no swig of my apple juice, baby.
No,
you can't have
none of that.
Yeah, there are a lot of things when you just talk to women on a regular basis about the things that they believe and they think about men. There are so many misconceptions about guys, and like you said, SD, a lot of them don't grow up with men. The men that they know really ain't shit. They ain't the solid quality type of men that I speak for. So there's a lot of room for error for women when it comes to evaluating men and making dating decisions. But from a male perspective, it seems very simple. You know, like the blueprint on a guy that is in a position to be able to be the leader of a household and a family is easy I can spot him a mile away. You know, so I can easily identify.
You can lead a household because you let these women nowadays say, and the men can't even lead a household. Have y'all heard about that? Y'all can't lead.
Oh yeah, we hear that all the time.
But see, there are some that can't. You know what I'm saying? So there's some truth to that. But the things that they say it takes to run a household ain't real. Like part of the things that it takes to really be a solid husband is the heart to tell a woman no, to let her have an attitude, to let her be mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can't get in your feelings. If you alter your decision making or your choices just as she got mad, now you just a puppet. You know what I mean?
You're
like
in a bad spot, buddy.
Yeah, you gotta.
Happy wife, happy life. Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
One of the worst cliches.
What it does is it caters to women and it leaves the men out. So his feelings and his opinions and what matters to him doesn't matter. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, man, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, but it is a lot of smart women out here that do want to hear what men have to say. That follow Terry and my page and these different pages that do talk from a male perspective about things. A lot of smart women out there that do learn and that's what women should do. Like if it was me, I think most men, if it was something out there to reach their goal, to help them get women, I think most men that didn't get women would be like, all right, I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
He going live? He going live? Let me record it.
Yeah, and self-reflect. Like it only makes sense to listen to something from somebody to tell you, hey, this is how you do it, bro. This is what you want to do. And it's a lot of smart women out there that do pay attention to our content and the different things that we say and try to apply those things and make adjustments.
And then make a big difference.
Absolutely, when you date her and when you deal with her, because she understands men. She understands certain things. So she's more pleasant to be around. She ain't gonna be tripping. She like, hey, whatever, I understand. It's cool. I got it. So, I mean, I appreciate those women that actually try to honestly learn from men. So, kudos.
Yeah, you can definitely spot them in their attitudes, the way that they approach the conversations. They're approaching it to actually learn, not to just have something to respond or counter from the male perspective. But see, that's one of the things, like, just as a guy, I learned that in order to have success with women, you just had to learn how to deal with those things. The rebuttals, the treating feelings like facts, the flipping your words around. And the more you're able to hit her with actual facts, hit her with actual definitions in the middle of the battle, you got to be
break
able to
it down.
Mid argument, you got to be able to call her out or point out the hypocrisy, point out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do it in real time, and a lot of guys can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real easy to she piss you off, she say something to trigger you, or you just get discombobulated, and it can turn violent, or it can go left. But that's one thing that I felt like I've always had a skill that was above other guys, and it makes it easy for me to articulate a lot of the things we think and feel.
When she say so, basically, you already know what
that's oh, bro, I hate that.
Basically, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
But then also, and this is what I talk about also from a psychological and emotional perspective, some people don't have the emotional or psychological intelligence to be able to understand and comprehend. So as much as you want to make her understand, sometimes she's not able to comprehend, and she's not able to understand because of her emotional intelligence level, because of her psychological intelligence level. So we also have to be very mindful and attentive to who we're dealing with, and also in their current emotional state, because someone could be in a good emotional state one week, and the next week they have someone pass away, and it puts them in a different mindset. So it's about, it's about perspective. It's about being attentive to who we're talking to, and then what also is going on with them as well currently.
Okay, sure. I had another question I wanted to ask you. With you having your background and all the things that you've seen in regards to dating and relationships, what would you say are the ingredients for a healthy relationship?
Number one, communication. Understanding, patience, forgiveness, letting go of your past and living in the current moment. A lot of times people base their current situation or current connection or relationship off of stuff that they've experienced in the past, and that's also where things go awry. So just, really making sure that you're not bringing past stuff into current situations, and also that you're not comparing, because what a lot of people do, men and women, is they compare their current person to someone
else. Ain't that natural? Is it that's impossible to not do that, right? I mean, at least I always.
If you're verbalizing it,
well, not verbalizing it, but I mean just the act of it, like.
Yes,
I don't see how you could.
I don't know. I don't know. See, for me, I taught myself years ago to not like compare the two, and so it's like you can't sit up there and compare oranges to apples, and when okay, say this person did something to you and you bring it into your current situation, like that's unhealthy in and of itself, because you're going to be basing it upon something that you already went through, not based on what you're going through right now. So I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, you can't. A lot of people can't separate the two.
So you're saying not to bring emotional baggage from the past into the current relationship?
Absolutely, because you're setting yourself up for failure.
True.
You're comparing, and you're also bringing the past into the current, and you're never going to get anywhere like that. Like seriously, you're really not.
I think the time between partners matters too. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got a nice time in between partners and you can get that, like when me and my ex broke up like 3 years ago, I needed time to get that out my system.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no pain for me. I mean, just saying, it wasn't no pain.
That didn't hurt me.
It wasn't no pain
hurt
like
me.
that. But we were together. We were together. Don't get me wrong. I missed her and all that stuff for a while because she was a good girl. Don't get me wrong. We were together for 2 years, but I still needed time to detox that out of my system.
So after the breakup, how long
Yeah.
was it before you dated somebody else?
Before because I haven't really dated somebody since then. And when I say dated, I'm talking about like seriously dating, where I'm like, oh man, she's close. Like I ain't really did that.
But like, how long before you even considered dating somebody?
I would say about 6 months, 6 to 7 months, something like that. To where I was like, all right, well, I ain't thinking about it. I ain't missing her being around or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? Because if I jump into something in 6 or 7 months, yeah, I'm gonna be comparing. You know what I'm saying? Man, that sloppy top ain't as sloppy as it used to be.
Right.
It ain't.
You know what I'm saying?
It ain't.
I ain't got it out my system yet in 6 months or 4 months or whatever the case. That's why they say rebounds are
right
bad.
now.
Yeah, rebound. That's why they say rebound relationships are bad, because you ain't got that out your system, and you're gonna compare, especially if you was in love with somebody. You gonna compare that. If this dude was moving your kidneys around and now this other dude really ain't, you ain't got that out your body yet.
Yeah.
You ain't got it out your system yet. So you need time to get that out your system before you go and try and be with somebody else. Take your time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've seen people. I guess that's the one thing I lack the experience at. My wife is my first adult relationship. So I guess you could say I hit the lottery as far as dating goes. Married my college crush and been with her ever since. So
that.
yeah, I've never had to deal with the adult breakup and all that. So I can imagine that'd be a big deal. I discuss it an awful lot about. Well, I wanted to ask you this as well. I hear a lot of people these days. There's this "I hate my ex" type of theme, around society, and I believe that people can grow. People can learn from past mistakes. What are your thoughts on dating an ex or somebody from your past?
My thoughts on dating an ex or somebody from your past, I tell people all the time. I was just talking to my boy about this 20 minutes before we started this. And it's like, you never know what's going to happen. You could say, oh, I'll never do X, Y, and Z, but at the same time, you never know what's going to happen. We've heard multiple stories, you guys, over the years of how, like, oh, we didn't work out this time, but then we met or we came back together a couple years later, and like, we're happily married. Like, we're together now. So I always tell everybody to, you know what, you never know what's going to happen. So keep your heart open, honestly, because you never know what's going to happen. Just because something happened previously doesn't mean it's going to happen now. And we all can evolve and change and be better people, for our person in the long run. So, I say keep your heart open. I say deal with your stuff, heal from your stuff, and keep your heart open, because you never know what's going to happen, honestly.
And I wanted to touch back to what y'all were talking about earlier with the comparison. Y'all don't think that comparing can make you appreciate somebody else more? You know what I mean? Like, and to highlight like what you just said, you with somebody that you was really treating you right, but you just didn't recognize it until you was in a messed up situation, or somebody that wasn't meeting those needs. Like that's why I say, like, I don't think comparison, but just by itself, is necessarily a bad thing.
No,
yeah, it's not all bad. But verbalize it like, oh, you're not as good as this, or you not like you doing it in a I'm throwing shade on you type of way. Then obviously that's just toxic, kind of passive aggressive behavior. But to just to think about things that you did or did not like about somebody else you dated, or that because I as a former hoe, if I had a positive experience with one chick, I'm going to copy and paste it on another chick. You know what I mean?
We tested out.
What restaurant you taking them to and all that. Yeah, so.
I was just thinking about SD's comment about comparing a sloppy toppy.
Yeah.
You said that.
That's a whole.
It happens, man. It happens. So that's what it is. Life. That's what happens out here.
All right, Char. Looks like we are up against the clock. Before we get up out of here, can you let our viewers know where they can get your content or where they can hear from you?
Yes, across all platforms, I am Says What She Wants, the #1 female advocate for men, but also a sister to women. And yeah, be looking for my show too, because my show is coming out. Says What She Wants.
All right, well, we definitely enjoy the conversation. We definitely appreciate you taking the time to come out on the podcast.
It was an honor, honestly.
Before we get up out of here, I want to give another shout out to my man Brother Soul Productions for keeping us laced with our background audio. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up with me so we can get another episode knocked out. And Char, we definitely enjoyed the conversation. Would love to have you on again.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Definitely.
This has been another episode of the Hold a Husband podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.